How's up guys, Ashbfc here to bring you my review on Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Yeah, I've had to practice that line. I've been struggling to say it. It's a terrible name, by the way. Why did they have to add Revengeance on the end? What was wrong with just Metal Gear Rising? That's a perfectly fine name. It's a pretty cool name. Why add Revengeance? It's not even a real word. I don't think. Yeah, terrible name. Before we get started on that review, I need to say right now, you're looking at the most die-hard Metal Gear fan on the planet. I am obsessed with this franchise. Ever since I played the first game back in 1998 on the PlayStation, well, the first Metal Gear Solid game, yeah, I've been obsessed. It's the most amazing game I ever played. I mean, I've got pretty much all the games here, give or take. And basically, it's the only series I keep. Every other game I play and beat, I always trade it in, you know, for another game or drugs or what? Yeah, this series is going nowhere. I love this series. It's the greatest series ever, in my opinion. I mean, the masterpiece we got right here, most amazing game I ever played, probably ever will play. This is my original copy from 1998. This game is going nowhere. I will have this until I die. Oh, amazing. Nothing will ever touch that game, in my opinion. But yeah, you know, I've even got VR missions there. Metal Gear 4 is the reason I bought a PS3. And this right here, as you can see, is the US copy of Snake Eater. Basically, this was the first game I ever imported because it was released quite a lot later in the UK as opposed to the Japan and US release. So I was like, there is no way in hell I am willing to play this game where I know the people on the other side of the globe are playing it before me, and I don't want to run into spoilers on the internet, so I was like, I have to import that game. So yeah, first game I ever imported. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the franchise. I mean, the only toy I have and still have is a Solid Snake action figure. And I would happily buy more Metal Gear Solid toys. Despite being in my 20s, I would still buy Metal Gear Solid toys. Obviously I wouldn't play with them. I'll probably play with them. But yeah, I mean, Hideo Kojima is a freaking god in my eyes. The guy's a genius. I kind of idolise that guy. He's amazing. But yeah, I just want to state how much of a die-hard fan I am. So basically, when I found out what Rising was all about, basically Kojima was sitting this one out. He wasn't really going to be writing or directing this game, and that, you know, Raiden was the main character. I had horrible flashbacks to when I first discovered I was playing him in Metal Gear Solid 2. And basically the entire game was polar opposite to Metal Gear Solid. You know, it was fast-paced hack and slash as opposed to the stealth, you know, espionage stuff. So yeah, when I found all this out, I kind of freaked out and I had a Michael Scott reaction.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, I was so pissed. I was like, this can't be happening, this is a disgrace. And I was hating this game before it even came out, and I was determined to continue hating this game, and I thought it was probably going to be a terrible game and I was just going to hate it. And I was wrong. I was so wrong. This game is awesome. It really is. I was being an idiot, basically, for hating it. Because, one, it's not Metal Gear Solid. It's not trying to be Metal Gear Solid. And two, it's only a spin-off. You know, this isn't the future of the franchise. This is just a spin-off to appeal to a different market. Which is fine, I have no problem with that. Because God knows Metal Gear Solid is not for everyone. I know a lot of people who don't like it think it's the most boring game on the planet. I think it's absolute ballfest. Too much story, too much interruptions, blah blah blah, not enough gameplay. It's more like watching a movie, which is fine, I accept that. But yeah, this is a fast-paced hack and slash action game to appeal to a different market. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's only a spin-off. You know, if this was called Metal Gear Solid and this was the next entry in the series and this was the future, then yeah, I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be outraged. I'd be starting a one-man riot. But yeah, it's not. It's only a spin-off. There's no need to freak out about this game, because everything we know and love about Metal Gear Solid is all coming back in Ground Zeroes. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, So basically, you know, like I said, complete opposite to Metal Gear Solid. Not trying to be Metal Gear Solid. It's an absolute must for hack and slash fans, is basically what I got to say right now. So it's developed by Platinum Games, who I think they're one of the best developers going right now. I mean, they're best known for Bayonetta and probably Vanquish, and Bayonetta was amazing. So you kind of know what to expect if you played previous Platinum Games titles, and they've done a damn good job with this. It's basically the best way to describe it. It's kind of like a fusion of Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden, and Bayonetta, kind of all rolled into one, which is pretty good ingredients if you ask me. This is a really good game. Like I said, I was so wrong about this. So we're playing as Raiden again, but not that little blonde bitch we all knew from Metal Gear Solid 2. Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of the worst characters I've ever had to play as in a video game, ever had to endure, is a better word. It was torture having to play as that guy, especially when we all thought we was playing as Solid Snake, when we got that little blonde whinging bitch. I hated him, I still do, he's a terrible character. And I know why Kojima did it, he had a reason to do it, I understand that, but he was awful. But yeah, this ain't that Raiden, he's pretty badass. You can't not like this Raiden in this game. And you'll know if you've played Metal Gear Solid 4 that it's completely different. He's Jack the Ripper in this game. He's the Jack the Ripper persona, a guy that likes to rip people up, basically a killer. But yeah, Raiden's pretty badass this time around. It's a ton of fun playing him. So yeah, it's a hack and slash game, like I said. I'm having a lot of trouble saying hack and slash. Anyway, yeah, so the tagline at the back there is cut at will, and that's basically what you do. You hack and you slash. You can chop pretty much everything you see into tiny little pieces. You can chop trees, walkways, catwalks, posts, pillars, cars, tanks, boxes, crates, and of course all the enemies, you know, from humans, well, cyborg sort of human things, tiny little pieces, geckos. It's crazy. I've never seen a game where you can slash so many things into pieces like this. And you can chop up a freaking helicopter, for Christ's sake, into tiny little pieces in slow motion. It's crazy. You can chop a Metal Gear Ray up. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. It's so much fun, and it's one of the best parts about this game. It's crazy. And yeah, I mean, it's super fast paced, you know, classic Platinum game style. It's just so much fun. Really tight controls as well, which is always important. Very tight controls, and it's a good challenge as well, which is why I always praise a good challenge. Too many easy games nowadays. Yeah, you've got to have kind of a little bit of skill to play this game. You've got to be pretty quick, good reaction times, and you've got to master, you know, the art of parrying. There's no dodge button in this game. No dodge. So yeah, it's pretty tricky, especially on the harder difficulties. It's a really good challenge. And of course, being a Platinum Games title, great boss fights, very creative and unique, ton of fun boss fights. Because I'm a sucker for boss fights, I love boss fights, but they've kind of died out, to be honest. There's not that many of them anymore, and the ones that do appear, they're often quite uninspired and a bit generic, and kind of stuff we've seen before, and they're often too easy, that's the problem. They're very simple and too easy, but no, not in this. They're very unique, and they put up a good fight. They're a good challenge. I mean, you probably find the average gamer probably find himself getting owned quite a few times by the bosses before they finally figure it out. I did myself. It took me quite a few times to beat each of the bosses. Never got it. Never even come close to beating it first time. But I like that. It's more satisfying. There's more sense of achievement when, you know, you're getting your arse handed to you by the boss, and you finally start to figure it out, and you can turn the tables and, you know, hand their arse back to them. Yeah, I do like the boss fights in this game. One of the better parts. Really good boss fights. And also my favourite part is the soundtrack. This has got sick soundtrack. It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in the game, period. It's amazing. I actually bought it. I've got it on my phone. It's so good. It fits so well with the fast pace of this game. It's really good. It really adds to the epicness and the awesomeness when you're taking the bosses down with the sick soundtracks that play. Really good soundtrack. And I was also very surprised by the story in this game. I was honestly thought fair enough, the gameplay might be pretty damn good, but it's probably gonna have a terrible story. because, you know, Kojima wasn't writing it. And I was very wrong as well on that front. It's a pretty good story. It does the job. Of course, it's got nothing, you know, on a Metal Gear Solid script, but it does the job. I really can't complain about the story. There's a bit of cheesy dialogue in there, but other than that, it's pretty well told. The cutscenes are pretty awesome, particularly the action ones. They're a lot more like a Matrix style thing, the sort of stuff you saw in Twin Snakes, as opposed to the stuff you saw in Metal Gear Solid. Pretty cool stuff. But what surprised me most about this game was the violence. This game is pretty brutal. I mean, you can see that it's got an 18 rating. That's the first time a Metal Gear game has got an 18 rating here in the UK. That's our highest rating. Because every other game has got a 15 rating, which is the equivalent to the T rating, I think, teen, in the US. Yeah, the game's never got an 18 rating. This game is very, very violent. Blood, you know, comes in very high quantities. A lot of blood. And of course, being a bloodthirsty guy, I love myself a bit of video game violence. Very satisfying. I mean, I know Metal Gear is no stranger to violence. You can snap necks, slit throats, you know, Vamp, massacring all those guys from Metal Gear 2. Grey Fox when he slaughtered all those genome soldiers in the first game. Meryl being shot by Sniper Wolf. Of course, when Big Boss got the shit beat out of him by Volgin and then tortured in Metal Gear 3. You know, it's no stranger to violence, but this kind of takes it up to a new level. As well as the language as well. I was surprised by the language. I know there's been like bastards and bitches dropped in Metal Gear before. I can't remember if there was any shits. There might have been a couple of shits dropped, I'm not too sure. I don't mean by Johnny as well in the toilet. But I'm almost positive there has never been a fuck in a Metal Gear Solid title. Ever. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me, but I do not recall ever hearing an F-bomb dropped. Ever. And this drops a lot of them. Motherfucker, mother trucker, F's and Jeffs. Yeah, I was very surprised by the language. But hey, I love it. I was surprised overall by this game, about how good it was and how wrong I was. You know, you should not deny yourself playing this game, you know, if you're, especially if you're a hack and slash fan, just because, you know, it's not Metal Gear Solid. It's just really good. Another great game by Platinum. A really good company. Yeah, it's just a really, really good game. It really is. It's, in fact, it's my second favourite release of the year so far, behind Ni no Kuni on the PS3. It's really, really freaking good and one of the best hack and slash games. Why can't I say hack and slash? Hack and slash. Hack and slash. Hack and slash games in a while. I'm not saying hack and slash, isn't it? Forget it. I'm just going to say hack. Yeah, it's the best in a while, and I don't think it's Platinum Games' best title. I still think Bayonetta is their best work, but this is a pretty close second. Now, my only gripe with this game, it is a pretty big one, is it's really short, like really short. It's like between 4 to 6 hours short. Most will breeze through this game pretty quick. There's only 7 missions to go at. Yeah, it's criminally short if you ask me. And you can argue there is replay value with collectibles and S ranks, but I imagine the average player won't go for collectibles and S ranks, you know, in achievements and trophies and stuff. So for most, it's going to be a pretty short experience. I mean, a good one while it lasts, but it's just too goddamn short. And, you know, and when you pay full price, it's kind of annoying. Because, you know, it's only a single player, there's no multiplayer, no co-op or anything like that. So yeah, like, it's very disappointing with how short it is. That's the main problem with this game. Very, very short. Another problem as well is the camera, which the camera is a bitch. It's a really infuriating camera. Because it took me a while to realise there is an auto lock, an auto aim, which you have to switch on during boss. If you don't switch on auto lock on boss fights, you're screwed. The camera is going to fuck you over hard. So be prepared to bend over and take it, because yeah, it is a pretty annoying camera. It's the worst one I've seen in a while. It was pissing me off. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue right there. Other than that, I can't complain. Damn good game, and I'm going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. Pretty high score. I would have given it higher, but you know, the shortness is a major factor, and the camera is pretty annoying. But yeah, the shortness overall. But yeah, really good game, and go play it. You know, hack and slash fan, you gotta play it. You know, support Konami and Platinum Games. So yeah, that was my Metal Gear Solid, not Metal Gear Solid, that was my Metal Gear Rising review. So Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, terrible name, but yeah, anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next review.